Hello everybody, welcome back to Momo versus The Bazaar. Today, we're taking a look at a huge patch that just dropped today. Some things to note is they've been releasing patches and changes like on a weekly basis, but they took a break for a little while, and I guess that they were working on something huge, which is what they just dropped here. So, without further ado, let's take a look here. I'll give you my thoughts and give you some tips and tricks that could help you excel in this patch. So I think generally speaking, very, very good. Some things maybe don't like so much, but take a look together. So Beehive Feather upgrade for the level up rewards have been disabled. Reading this a second time, Feather level up reward. I don't know that you could like get a feather on the level up. I'm not too sure what they mean by this, but not being an upgraded item is a little sad to see, because seeing this once in a while was nice. Just upgrade something. So, and same thing with Beehive. It was one of Pig's stronger items. So, just be look out for that. That you won't be seeing these. And I guess I have a general overview. They really want every run to feel pretty unique, and sometimes it felt like starting out there was an early game build you should go for 9 times out of 10 because it just made sense, right? Maybe it was like get a large item right off the bat, like get the flagship or get the port, right? Early game port to be powerful, something along those lines. So yeah, furthermore, out of combat scaling they want to reduce, okay, the things like Regal Blade, right? That's why they took that out, because it was just so strong. That kind of deal. Number of hidden rules, not too sure. But slow down the pace of the end, combat in the end game. Curious how they're gonna do this. Because I swear, sometimes you had, let's say, a dually that started with a big shield and had force field, right? Maybe started combat with 30% of his health, fires off a force field, maybe one shots the player, right? And like that was the round. It was over in like a couple seconds. Yeah, infinite loops, right? So repeater, throwing knife, triggering very, very fast. There's a couple other that broke the code in the game, kind of in a way, abused it. There's like a welding torch something and the haste lizard, and just like instant poison max, you were dead. So hopefully they took a look at some of those and tweaked them. Yeah, so this was a huge thing I was talking about. I'm really glad about this. So I think they, like, for example, the pufferfish had no active ability, but now they're switching the passives into an active ability, just giving like the charge symbol instead of when this happens. So take a look how that affects things. Yeah, and this is very experimental. This is why we're in beta. So we'll see what makes the final cut, right? So new content, I like this. Monster Ranch, very excited for this, right? Encounter provides monster loot items. So if there was like is unfortunately sometimes your chance of getting loot from one of the PvE fights happens like once a run. I don't know, let's say you wanted the crusher claw from the crab, right? You would have one shot at that, or proboscis, right? You have one shot at that. Those two in particular, you can get at the curio shop. So it's a pretty bad example, but something along those lines, nice to see. Huge change. Start a run is now a selection of 4 items, not dually, and also no longer provides a skill. This seems like pretty bold, and I think it's for the better, because sometimes you'd start the run with like a gold skill that you can't use at all, right? Like let's say you took the burn 9, leftmost burn has burn 9, and you don't see like any burn item. It just feels pretty bad. Same thing with the poison, like you just never come across poison for a while. Feels kind of bad. So give him more. I know they want to hit the ground running with those skills, but it just didn't feel good sometimes, and kind of pigeonholed you into a build instead of having a starting basis and building up from there. I kind of like the idea of building fresh, kind of. I think it just works better in this context. Counter frames, cool. Yeah. More consistent scaling. Enchantments with passive effects now have tooltips describing their effects. Beautiful. More explanation to game. Rerolls removed from specialist merchants. This is big. So, where this affects you is something like, I think Vanessa's a good example where she has like a couple of bronze large items in particular, the large item special shop, right? I think Pole's the guy's name. So the first three would be like Crow's Nest, Cove, and blanking on something else that's like a bronze. But there's only a couple, right? But you can force the game to re-roll into silvers when you really shouldn't have them offered yet, because there was only so many bronze items. You know, normally it'd be like a 10% chance to see a silver tier large item, but with the re-roll button there, you could find it. So stops a lot of forcing of certain items, let's just say. So very good. Level 5 upgrades, no longer an upgrade. General upgrade. I kind of like the level up, level 5, not gonna lie, but it's kind of, we'll see how strong it is, if it still could be a level up meta, because generally in this game, it's better to just click level up and do a lot of encounters, right? So, we'll take a look. Increase the floor tick rate of sandstorms. Okay, so they want sandstorms to end fights more. We'll see. Yeah, less XP. So they want less XP to be in the game. Tiny Cutlass, big change. They were supposed to have multicast too, apparently. That's like the veteran octopus fight always felt so easy. So we'll see if this increases difficulty. It should. Arrow vehicle merchant no longer spawns for Vanessa, so this one kind of makes sense, because once you hit day 9, if Arrow spawned, you could just guarantee yourself a shipwreck. Also, before day 9, you guarantee any vehicle that Vanessa has. She only has 3 before day 9 and then a 4th, so you could force flagship, submarine, that kind of deal. Yeah, no longer the haste merchant on the haste skills for Pig. Kind of strange. I didn't like his haste skills to begin with because they had to deal with his properties, so. Large merchant no longer spawns on day 3 and 4. And tool merchants no longer spawns on day 2 and 3. Slight rare, so. Yeah, adding to the variance, because if you see these early on, you can really force some stuff, right? So that's a good change. Yeah, sometimes if you get the enchanted item merchant, you were just looking for anything that said freeze, because more than likely it was going to be busted. So maybe we pick up more variety, which is good. This is very good for the game. Freeze should be more of a rare item and passive to acquire, and you can see that they're definitely pushing for that, so that's pretty good. Early fights, blah blah blah. Boar Warrior slightly adjusted. We'll have to take a look at this, because you 9 times out of 10 didn't, not even more, like most of the time you did not want to take this fight. Just was a hard fight and didn't give you good stuff. And I'm kind of very glad about this. You can now enchant the following items. All this stuff. Here's what, what enchantment's gonna go on this. Pelt is maybe like more money. Snowflake, maybe more freeze, more XP. Like, I don't know how it's all gonna work. But Busy Bee, I was sad you couldn't enchant the bee because there's some cool stuff. And I guess nanobots, which is more of a me. And then, like, if you're enchanting a gumball, like, what are you doing? Find out. Oh, yeah, we'll have to see. Sparring partner is now a regular encounter. Sure, okay, that's fine. Teddy. Okay, so the interesting thing to me is when you take damage, was on Teddy's thing, and you only take damage, when you take damage, like actual damage to you, not your shield. So I guess when your shields take damage, now Teddy will increase crit. Cool. Guess meditate was giving more XP, which it shouldn't have. Yeah. Coolant leak skill. See, this one says when you use your rightmost item 10 times, freeze an item. And I swear boards were getting frozen permanently because of this. So we'll see how this change affects now that it's less. I just felt like the wording on it was wrong. Oh, okay. I don't think I ever saw this. When you burn, gain regen. Okay. Cool. So we're gonna be getting regen and damage for the fight. So cool way to scale your weapons with burn now. Arms dealer when you sell a weapon. Okay. So this is their fix for arms dealer. I think it's gonna be good. Only when you sell an item, you will get max health, because pigs were coming out of here with 500k health. I don't know, it was disgusting. Augment weapon skills have +1 damage when you sell a small item. Okay. I think just less scaling damage, because it originally started at 2 or something, right? So yeah, all the things that scale out of combat, like they said, they're really trying to not be super strong, because they want in-game scaling. During the fight, weaponized core, for example, that scales your weapons during the fight. That's what they want to be pretty decent. Weak point detector, right? Yeah, and these passives. So they're getting rid of when you use, deal damage, right? Knife set used to have that, so they buffed the damage on it, but now it charges it instead of just getting used right away. Also, it now has an active ability, so it kind of feels good. Having more active abilities kind of feels good in a way to, let's say you ran a port flagship build and you had knife set on, right? Let's just say this is a hypothetical example. The only thing that can get frozen is flagship. So, maybe it's a way to get around that as well as balancing things. So very good. Less XP from Vile Blood. So I think this is less scaling because defensive skill, yeah, it went up to 20, right? 20 or 30 extra shielding when you use a weapon. That made Dooley super strong. His shield skills are the shield skills were getting out of hand. So nerf on that's good. Wow, lifting went from 3 damage and 6 damage respectively, bronze, silver, to 1, 2, 3. This is silver, gold, diamond. That's nuts. So probably won't be very good. So clips, magic carpets now vehicle. That's funny. I was waiting for them to make the port vehicle, but I guess not. So Okay. Charge. Sabotage skill. This one I'm familiar with. I never seen the original, but it looks like it was a nerf. Same with sabotage skill. Because it used to be whenever you use a tool, slow an item 1. And you could fire it off rapidly. Huge nerf to it. Huge nerf. So skills are becoming, I think for the most part, a lot worse. Just yeah. So I'd say general takeaway from most of these skills changes is, you know, don't be relying on them super much. Nah, it's not even a word. As much to scale your board up and be game breaking skills. They still have like, I think the best skills in the game right now are still like the freeze skills, like when you crit, when you poison, when you deal burn, freeze an item. Those are still in. I think they'll get slightly worse with this patch, but still those are the best, and some of the skills here definitely got worse for the most part. Some got fixed, which is cool. So Feather gives less cooldown, even though they just removed it. Used to be 3% upper on, so like 2%, etc., etc. Sharpened corners. New shield, give your weapons +3, 6, 9. Yep. Because again, those numbers were huge. I'm glad they nerfed these shield skills by a decent amount because they were nuts. Remove hammer from Boiler Room Brawler, because if you got this, you kind of just won the run. These are in there. You could still get hammer though, just from like a Stell encounter, right? That hero, I think so. Bugs with luxury 10, light preserver. Okay, the boar is still out of the game. Kind of sad. I did like the 2 XP. Bugs with these. Sometimes they wouldn't work right, especially bootstraps. My experience, I have a video, go check that out, but it wouldn't give the enchantment. Like let's say you had heavy boots, right? The heavy tag. It would say when you upgrade your next item, give it, heavy or slow if able. And it just never did, even if the item that it upgraded could get that slow tag. So very good. Redesigns, ballista, old multi-scaling. Yeah, it doesn't trigger off itself. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Cutlass, multicast 2, cool. Clamora is no longer a tool. Why? Not sure. Wish it was a friend, but I guess it's a robot, not a friend. Okay, so when you use another item, boom, out of the game. Charge 3 seconds. Throwing knives, when you crit, charge. And cooldown reduced from 3 to 2 is kind of wild. So you'd be firing these off fast anyways, which that's what they want with the weapon, so we'll see. Captain's Wheel. Charges, don't just haste. Pufferfish, 6-second cooldown, passive change when you haste charges. So again, slowing down the game is what they want, and that's definitely what they got. Nerf alacrity, the charge rate. Only when you use adjacent items. Okay, because jellyfish got tons of triggers just from all your aquatic items, and now nerfing jellyfish to only left and right stuff. So poison build, throwing out there, gonna be weaker this patch. It's still gonna be pretty decent, but it's not an end all be all build to go for. Your items have 2% crit chance when you start a fight, increases bonus So now this no longer scales your crit chance. Okay, so again, out of combat scaling, not a thing. Port now reloads 1 ammo at all tiers. I thought it already did that. I thought it only gave 1 ammo to begin with when you fired it off. I could be wrong. I thought it only gave 1 ammo when you reloaded. But it gave you like starting ammo, right? Like if it was diamond tier, it give you +3 starting ammo. Spawns mostly Vanessa items. Kind of sad to see. I did like the variety. At 1 tier lower than itself, I do like the fact that if you rush levels, got an early port, by day 5 you could be getting free diamond tier small items every day. That was a bit strong. So I do like the nerf to like you only get gold items at best. So I think that's pretty healthy. You use a weapon or haste charge, just 1 second. I kind of like the haste that Trebuchet gave. So a lot of these, you're kind of a little sad to see some of the stuff goes. Yep, Pearl on a cooldown, no longer when you use another item. Okay. At least Fishing Rod, you can choose what item to haste now instead of just a random one. Feels better, but it's still, it's on an 8-second cooldown. Don't like it. Lighthouse now is passive on a 6-second cooldown. When you slow, charges 3. So gonna make Lighthouse worse, but they increase these numbers, which I think is good. To balance it out. We'll have to see how this performs. This Lighthouse didn't feel the best to take anyway, so we'll see. When you use a Jace Dime, charges 3 seconds for the water wheel. And on a 6-second cooldown. Okay, but at least this still gives the mass haste and stuff, so water wheel is still going to be mostly untouched. Although it's going to charge. Well, actually, charge 3 seconds. This might be a huge buff. It's usually charge 1 second on a higher cooldown, so I think water wheel is going to be pretty good. Heated shells, the burn is less. Ashlabe. Is this like less haste time or less shielding? I'm not positive which is which. This could be a buff. I don't know. Iron Sharpens Iron is back in the game, and your left one has +2 damage when you buy a weapon, increases bonus. Oh, that could be disgusting. That could be a lot of damage. So instead of scaling your entire board every day or every fight by +3, you can make one item super strong. So I think that's gonna be still pretty good, even at like bronze tier. Probably some of the best scaling in the game at the moment, it looks like out of combat. Charge an item, huge nerf to Fury Blows. Burst 5 times, so this triggers only once. Like, you used to get so much value out of these passives, and now you only get them 1 time. And that's it. So, are these skills? Same thing with bolt time, right? First 5 times, use slow an item. That's it. You're getting no more slow triggers, so this seems like it's going to slow down combat a decent bit between all these changes. So Vanessa still going to be in a decent spot, and going to be looking to get a little more creative with the builds now that all these have cooldowns and took away this whenever this happens tag. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. Pig redesign. Pig I don't know, Pig's broken one way or another. It's tough. It's a tough one, but Beast of Burden now deals higher base damage, with the scaling is now 10, 20, 30, 40. Yeah, nerf the Beast of Burden, so They don't want it to be super scaled up to by like day 5 you're dealing, I don't know, like 3k damage or something. So hopefully the one shots will be less frequent, which would be good. Same with Real Blade. Higher base damage, yep. But scaling down, because you could get a diamond Regal Blade really early on, and then by day 5 dealing like 5,000 damage, right? Like that's just not realistic of a healthy meta. So we'll see the changes. I think Regal Blade's still going to be pretty strong though, regardless. Like these are some of the best out of combat scaling there is. Like you think of Iron Sharpens Iron only gives +2 damage. This is still giving up to +40 damage. So I think it's still going to be strong. Half as strong. We'll see. Might be better now though, because everything else is slowed down. Could still be busted. Ugh, I don't know. I didn't know that. Alright, that's a good change. Ooh, okay, nerf and cash register, sure. Pig usually tons of money anyway, so. Yo-yo, charge it yourself. Okay, instead of forced use. That's it, done. Fixed it, cool. Still would be pretty decent. And, you know, alongside that, cooldown reduced to 6 seconds. Good. Oh, we're gonna miss this passive though. Like, having a loop to, like, sell gumballs for money. Yeah, we're gonna miss this passive. So, Pig's gonna get hit pretty bad, it seems. Yep, giving Vineyard passive, which this was my biggest complaint with Pig, is that his large properties, at least the really good ones, didn't have an active ability. Like, besides the balance change around it, that alone is when you saw like unique skills to Pig, half of them you couldn't use because it's like, when you use a property, do this. When you use a property, do that. But these passives, though very good, didn't actually use the property, so you would get no value. I never took the Pig skill shop half the time, so the best active use property was like the fixer-upper. Like, you never want to use Pig's gym. Like, that was it, right? Those are your options. So at least Pig gym on the board. Okay, same thing. Yep, shield now on cooldown, so definitely a nerf to these. You used to see these numbers go crazy, so hopefully more realistic, you know, endgame fights is now what they're achieving. That will take a little bit more time. So they kind of, it feels like they give this with like candy, like, ooh, look at these broken things. Ooh, what broken stuff can you do? And now they're like, wait a minute, these are broken. Let's slow it down. So getting used to that shift will take some time, but I think it's healthy for the game. That's the general overview of this patch I'm getting. Beehive now charges all bees. Cool. There's a reason to run more bees than just one, right? It felt weird, so good change. Gave a charge and remove the passive on bushels, moved it to charge, marbles, charge, no, yeah, they're taking all these out. When you do this, when you do that, do this. And now putting them to charge instead of just doing the thing, right? Instead of marbles just slowing, when you use a small adjacent item, it charges marbles, marbles fires off. So it's going to open up a lot more avenues for things and nerf other things. That's all I can say about that. Shipment spawns mostly pigment items 1 tier lower than self. See, this change really don't like at all. The reason you buy shipment, at least, which was pretty bad to begin with, I've only got like a couple good items out of it, but I wanted to see items from different classes, right? I feel like that's the whole like flavor behind it. It's like, ooh, you got a random shipment from like faraway lands. You don't want to see your own items again. unless you want upgrades or something, but this allows you to get, I don't know, double up on your small items. Overall, don't like it, so I won't harp on it too much, but nerf the scaling on Curie. Didn't see anything about the golf clubs. And I felt like, Curie was like half as good as the golf clubs, and now it's even worse, so golf club's still good. Crook is back in, gives less damage, cool. I think this is probably a nerf here, less healing with endurance. Oh, hiccups, no. Treasure skill. Enter your day, give your items more value. Yeah, it's a good change because that was pretty strong. Nerf on makeshift plates. I guess that was broken. I don't know why. Didn't seem too broken. But anyways, dually redesign. Big one, bunker. No longer triggers off sandstorm, poison, burn. A little sad to see this go, but at the same time, it was way too strong. So, sort simple. This is how you fix it. So, good change overall. Machine learning skill not cost 6 gold at all tiers. I don't know what that means. Like if you get a diamond tier of it, just 6 gold. Oh, okay. And this one, like, what's it do? Just like level up your core or something? But anyways, I guess that's good. Yeah, capacitor was like almost unplayable. 10 seconds. I guess down to 7, so 765. Hopefully more capacitors will be played. That's good. Armadillo's back. Let's see. When you shield charges too. Done. You fixed it. 8 to 6 seconds for the cooldown. So yeah, because you're giving everything these cooldowns that can be broken, they nerf like insect wing and stuff that reduce cooldown. So gonna have to take a look at that to keep that balance. Arc blaster now does damage. Okay, not too sure. Bomb squad is no longer haste item. I don't know what this means, because it only hasted itself. It no longer hastes items. Yeah. So it won't haste itself, is what they're trying to say here. So instead of when you use Jace's friend, haste for 2 seconds, now it just charges 2. So I think this makes Bomb Squad so much better. Because usually when you do run Bomb Squad, friend core. And what did friend core have? Perma haste. So much haste. So this makes, I like this. You can put yo, we're gonna fire up a friend core game after this, I swear. This next to Walter Cooler. Just scale it better. Great. Flamethrower. Less damage. Maybe it was broken. I never saw any on any boards, but maybe it would have been broken in this new meta, so we'll see. No longer poisons on freeze. But, okay, so it scales itself when you freeze now. I guess it was kind of strong, so good change. I forget what this used to be. First time you fall below half health, you fight. Shield Eagle is double to your total burn on your items. Oh yeah, it felt pretty bad, honestly. Because like when you burn, gain that much shield. It's still not even gonna be good though, because your burn items are gonna be like, I don't know, 10, 12, and you'll gain maybe a total like 40 shield. But the broken thing is all these small instances of gaining shield, right? Even though it was gain shield 1, you had a burn item value of 1. It used to be you gain that 1 shield, and usually that triggered like a plethora of things. So Good change. Man, fuel rod. Whew. Okay. So didn't this used to charge? They changed it from haste to charge. Haste adjacent items with 8-second cooldown. That feels weird. This feels like a weird change. But I guess just wants the cooldown of vehicles. That's a new thing. Sure. Hey, bronze tier first aid, and cool. We can see him a little earlier. Like this healing. No longer heals on haste. Set. R.I.P. first aid, and he'll be remembered. Yep, race Carl. When you haste charge instead of just use deal damage, always being changed. Tesla coil. So this is, yeah, the big direction to go in. I'm curious how this is gonna play out. Really curious. Use Jason item, charge at 2 seconds. So used to be right. Using Jason item, it deals its damage. Changed. I don't actually know what this was. I forget, but so they nerfed weak point detector. Yeah, it used to be able to get like charge 4 and weak point detector, and that thing went off like crazy, which was cool to see. I like the numbers go, but definitely a needed nerf if they're gonna do all these other balance changes. So we'll see how viable it is. Okay. Because I remember they took out the core cooldown entirely, and now they're doing it from 7 to 6 across the board. Yeah, balancing dually is going to be tough when you balance all the other classes, right? Especially the starting items, so see. Last door shield, okay. So you don't gain shield to your shield anymore. When you take damage, charges 2. Doesn't trigger through shielding, just so you know, probably. Use this item, so. Trying to make blast door good. We'll see, we'll have to experiment with it. Like still big cooldown, but it has a big shield, and taking out all the broken, super broken shield scaling stuff. We'll just see how good this actually is now. You gain burn haste rounds for 1 to 2 seconds. This will be interesting. Okay. Chem snail, active poison, right? 6-second cooldown, charges itself on slow. Yep. Now counts additional copies of themselves. If you got multiple copies, okay. I guess they didn't before. Good. Illuso Ray and Shark Ray now counts as rays. That is ice. No, it changed. No one wanted or like expected, but we got it. So that's cool. So if you happen to get a Illuso or Shark Ray from like Vanessa, it could slot right into that Ray build. Love it. Railgun that charges off rays. Cool. Bronze. So cool. Rays are in because sometimes it was hard to like get the rays. Buffs all poison items. Ooh, nice changes because they felt a little underwhelming. But I swear now they're gonna feel pretty good since like a lot of the broken scaling's out of the game. So all in all, these changes for dueling. I think I'm most happy with the changes here. 100%. Besides support nerf and stuff, yeah, that was good too. And bugs. Okay, let's go. Yeah, bypass internal cooldowns of items to trigger. That was huge going on. People, That's how you got like those instant deaths. So, but that's wrong. Or removed and fixed. Oh, okay. I thought sometimes randomly from shops, like the non-weapon merchant, you could just get a passive on an item. I didn't know that wasn't supposed to be a thing, because that's happened. Area Dome, you used to be able to reroll this infinitely if you had no gold, so you could just roll until you hit a free enchantment, enchant an item, win the game. So, good that that's fixed. I guess Cog was hasting more. Yeah, a lot of the crit things, like Crow's Nest with the Deadly Enchantment was kind of broken. So, glad they're giving it its proper use now. Okay. A lot of these don't know. What are we restorative? Where gain the weapon tag? Like, so random. A lot of these I didn't know about. Okay, these are working. Okay, fixing Chrono Barrier. Yeah, permanent cooldown with Chrono Barrier. That was nuts. Like, for the rest of your run, you just get grief because someone had a Chrono Barrier, and thank God that's out. Yeah, some items get crit chance even though they shouldn't have, and I don't know how, but I guess Friends with Benefits was one of those ways. So remove that. Cool. Old Sword can work again. You can now buy this from the Curio Shop. Oh, Curio Shop's gonna be good because that's one of the big ways to give out of combat scaling. So Curio Shop value just went, stocks are up. Okay, shiny knee brace are working. I never see a shiny tag. It's like, I swear it's more rare than even freeze. Okay, proper tags, not spawning. Sure. Different cooldowns at silver tier? I didn't even know that. 2 seconds at diamond tier? Yeah, it's not right. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Dooley's scarf had like long text for whatever reason. Yeah, the enchant upgrades. This is what I was talking about. The enchanted bootstraps wouldn't give their enchantment tag. Now they will. Big dub. Big dub. Companion core hasting itself. Yeah, definitely. That was strong. So it needed change. Said one, but it needed change. Okay. All right. And those are the patches. Yeah, so it took about like 2 weeks to get this fat patch, maybe 3 weeks. Like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but a lot of good changes. And yes, the game is going to be slowed down a decent amount compared to what it was, but I think it's, again, for the better. Not going to see as crazy numbers until like maybe late game, and even then. But yeah, I think generally speaking, shielding's going to be weaker. Pufferfish build going to be weaker. Those are the ones that get hit the hardest. And then everything else kind of falls suit. So everything almost got hit equally, it seems. There's nothing that stand out. Like I think like, you know what? I think Dooley like force field and stuff is still going to be like super strong with duct tape. Right? I think shield core is still going to be like one of the best things because a lot of that stuff did not get changed all that much. So that's what's going to be in Pig. We're going to have to rediscover stuff. Once again, I think Regal Blade's still going to be one of his best builds though. It seems strong. Still seems strong. So we'll see. Those are my final thoughts, I think. So be on the lookout for them. If you got this far, like, subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. This is cool to take a look at, and hopefully impart some knowledge, at least read the notes to you, if nothing else. So Get out there, get some games, and I'll see you in the bazaar. Take care. Bye bye.